Yo, what's going on, buddy? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal. Ruhl, that guy over there. He's D-Mac, Darren McCarty. He won Stanley Cups and stuff. Just four. Only four, though. Spencer Raxter, he's here in the building also, as is Sam Flannel as well, in a Beatles t-shirt.
Always. You know, sometimes you got to change it up a little bit. Represent the best band that ever was and ever will be.
Stop.
No.
Stop.
That's facts. I bet it's the
Zeppelin's better.
No.
Look me in the eye and tell me Yellow Submarine's a good song.
That's the only argument you've ever had is Yellow Submarine. Now that they haven't had like 100 more others, 100, 200, 300 more others. Come on, Neal.
Look me in the eye and tell me it's a good song.
From the money's point of view, pretty epic. Legendary.
Right.
Sold a lot.
Zeppelin's better.
I'm sure Yellow Submarine. Yes,
Zeppelin's
Yellow
top
Submarine
5.
made more money than maybe the value of the
But that's my
of the
hook.
song.
That's how I got people like him. Because it's fictional. It's a creation. The Beatles and Yellow Submarine. Yellow Submarine is terrible. Look me in the eye and tell me it's good. Tell me it's good. Tell me it's
If
good.
you listen to some of the shit out there these days.
Tell me Yellow Submarine's good.
Yellow Submarine is irrelevant. I don't like Yellow Submarine. But
Relevant in the catalog.
every
Everybody
other
has a bad game, right, Sam?
it is irrelevant in the catalog. You still got Revolver, Rubber
It's
Soul.
got 1 billion views on YouTube.
So what?
So therefore people think it's good. And once you think that's good, you lost me. Period. End of story. And I'm never coming back.
And
you
you-
think Bob Seger sucks. So
That is
who
true.
are you to say?
That's where I
Beatles?
don't get the. That's where I'm a little bit gonna, throw out. He's got Beatles on, and I got the tattoo. James B. Anders right here, who taught me music, and everything sort of originates from the Beatles and Zeppelin and stuff like that. So I'm sitting out of this, but that's why when he walked in with the, I asked Sam if he knew he had a Beatles shirt on because they're good, in my opinion.
I like the Beatles.
He doesn't like Bob Seger, so you never know with this guy.
They were better when they broke up.
Ain't that something, though? 3 out of the 4 people in the room like the Beatles.
I like Wings.
Mm-hmm.
George Harrison had the best solo career out of all the Beatles.
They were better than when they broke up. Paul McCartney was good. John Lennon was good.
Yeah. I wouldn't say they were better when they broke up,
I would.
but George Harrison had the best solo
And
career.
none of them came out with Yellow Submarine.
That's true.
So there's that as well. Anyway, welcome to everybody here on Big D Energy and at WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jump into there. Detroit Dabber 313 with the What Up Doe. Tammy Chin, morning, Neal and Darren and everyone. Good morning, Tammy. Good to have you with us. D-Mac, because we got a ton of football stuff to get to. And I want to make a note of this because I wanted to get to this about the Lions season. So there. Derek R. Ringo's the most overrated Beatle. Ringo's part of the point,
Ringo's
Derek.
not overrated. He is, I feel like, consensusly known as the worst
I am the
Beatle.
walrus. Cuckoo.
I do like Octopus's Garden, though, and he wrote
You
that.
like Octopus's Garden?
Yeah.
That's one of the few
I'd
Beatles songs
like
I
to
don't
be
like.
under the sea.
Anyways.
That's a good song.
Anyways, what were you going to ask? It sounded like you were going to ask a hockey question.
I was you see, that's 10 years in the game,
That's
everybody.
it.
He knew where I was going. I was going to ask a hockey question.
Because you
but-
wanted to get it out of the way before we get engulfed with all this football.
yeah,
Oh.
absolutely. Two-hearted top 5 Beatles. I'll put it on the list.
Top 5 Beatles.
I'll put it on the list.
Pete Best better than Ringo Starr.
Ringo never. Pete Best
You know
forever.
what? I like that one. I think next week too. I think you got to do top 5 Super Bowl foods.
Yeah.
You have to,
Yeah.
right? You have to.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
You
That's a
have
good
to.
one.
So, dude, pigs in a blanket. I
giving out a list right
irrationally
now?
love pigs in a blanket. They're so
Yeah,
good.
They are
too,
good.
They're
bro.
so good.
It's one of those things.
Absolute cocktail go-to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pigs in a blanket is one of those things that I never have, and then at the Super Bowl typically they'll be there and I'll have one and I'll be like, I gotta eat these more often,
Benny.
and then I don't.
Yeah.
Spenny, small cap, but I'll take the first one and just dunk it in the mustard and eat over mustard and then just sham like 3 more in my mouth to try to even out the mustard instead of, right?
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
always going down the line.
That's a good play.
I love it.
FJ 1967, Neal looking fly for the Oakland game tonight. Let's go. ESPN Plus, Oakland Robert Morris, Bobby Moe as they're known.
Shout out Beth.
Yeah, shout out Beth. Golden Grizzlies looking to stay tied in the loss column in first place in the Horizon League. If you want a good college basketball team, you don't have to look very far. Like a threat to win their league.
Certainly not Michigan, that's for sure.
No. They are, as a matter of fact, pretty much the opposite record of Michigan in league.
Worst Power 5 conference team in America.
I wouldn't go that far.
I probably would. 7-14.
Yeah, they're not.
Anyways, you got a hockey question.
They're pretty close.
Oh, yeah. Tammy, D-Mac. The Wings last night.
Yep. Most important part, they got a point.
They got a point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still disappointed.
Yeah, of course. Of course, especially early. First period, Ottawa could have been ahead a few goals. They had a couple point-blank opportunities and stuff like this. And, the bottom line is you got the point. I'm going to look back at 82 games. You're in the heart of it. You're keeping this roll sort of going. It just puts imperativeness on the next game. So.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not outraged or anything like that. Real quick, I heard another network talking about this, and since they'll talk about stuff we've talked about on the air, I'll go ahead and do the same. Do they need to change the overtime rules in hockey?
No.
Because,
it's a lot of puck luck for
Change
sure.
them to what?
Because, you win the face-off, and then you have the puck the rest of the overtime.
But it's sort of like... No, I think... if you were going to change it, then what are you going to do? 10-minute 4-on-4 and only play for that extra point?
Yeah, I'm not looking to make it longer.
I think it's fine the way that it is. Yes, it becomes a strategy, just like it turned into, when's the first time you heard the term shootout specialist?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Which is a real thing. I'd say Patrick
it's valuable,
Kane.
yeah.
Patrick Kane is a shootout specialist, and
For
you
sure.
know how important those extra points are. So last night was one of those games, and I was there, and it just had that vibe that it was always going to be hard, right? It was going to be hard. So for Dylan Larkin to stay hot, continues to 12-game point streak. I think it was his 23rd goal of the year last night, to tie it up. That's a big point. I wish I'd marked down every time I said that's a big point, because I've already said about 3 of them, and it comes down to the end of the
Edmonton
year.
game I was at was a big
end,
point.
Right? So
They had no business.
the
They had
Edmonton
no
game.
business
There's
getting
another.
that
So there's
point.
2 right there. They're going to make the playoffs by a couple points or be out by a couple points. That's just the way it is. So remember what I said yesterday? As far as don't worry about the team ahead of you, worry about the team behind you. And the biggest thing when the teams behind you play each other, somebody has to lose, but you got to make sure that somebody loses in regulation. That's
True.
where it gets all funky if you see all these overtime games between all these teams.
Yeah, because you only want there to be 2 points up for grabs,
That's
not
it.
3.
No matter which way it goes, you want...
Man, what a time. What a time. D-Mac, look at us. Look at us, man. We're talking Lions offseason, which I can't wait to get into
I
because
know.
there's a bunch of perspectives I want to touch on and things. And we're talking cap and free agency and the league New Year's coming up. Now we're getting granular about how the tie rules and the overtime loss rules
Well,
impact
you know
the Wings'
why,
playoff
man?
chances. Look at us.
Because it's relevant.
It is
because
relevant.
we're in February right now, and we are a playoff team, right? We're a team, that has fought hard all year, right? And that's a testament to their locker room. Stuck with the process. They've had their ups and downs, but right now they're running pretty good. So they want to continue to do that. And the big thing is that, like they did last time, they lost in overtime at home. They bounced back. And we're able to take care of the next home game and stuff like that. That's why beating Vegas on a Saturday night at home is huge. Yeah, because it affords you. So again, you want to keep your eyes peeled on the standings because they are so close, especially behind you. But you keep getting points. You can get some separation.
Mike G says Lucas Raymond is the John Lennon of overtime hockey.
He is.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Woodward Sports.
What's that mean?
I don't know.
I think he's got 2 or 3 winners this year.
Does he?
Yeah.
He also said Ringo really ran the show as far as the Beatles were concerned. I thought that was Yoko Ono.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I like Yoko
I'll
Ono.
find. You know
Why-
what?
yeah,
You know
of
what?
course
Why don't
you
I do a
like
deep
Yoko.
dive? Hey guys, I'll be over there in a couple weeks. Going over to the UK for the ICW death match.
Hell yeah.
I'll
never been to Europe.
stroll through Liverpool,
Liverpool.
and check it out and get the deets on. You know what? It was Ringo's show, or no? Yoko was always there.
We had the
You'll be our
Beatles.
boots on the ground.
That's what
man
I'm
on
gonna
the
do.
street.
Hey, damn, easy to Sweden.
Yeah, you got
doing
UK.
doing the Red Wings
Yeah.
stuff.
We had the Beatles.
D-Mac
the
can
full
be in.
Beatles.
The only
From
fact
Liverpool.
is when I say I'll be in England, I'll be in England.
Oh yeah.
From Liverpool.
I know that's more Bob Dylan.
I'm John Lennon, the leader of the Beatles.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Chuck Brewer. Sam's taste in music is a bit all over the place. Dirty Dr. D. Sam also said Queen was overrated.
Shut up, Ringo. You're lucky we still let you play your drums.
Queen's a very fine classic rock band.
Ryan's reaction: new overtime rule. Send one man to center ice and duke it out.
So, Sam, if you had to listen to either Yellow Submarine or Bicycle Race, which would it be?
Bicycle Race.
Oh, why is that?
Fair.
Because Yellow Submarine is one of their few bad songs.
I mean,
Then why has it got 1 billion views?
I
Bicycle
don't
Race
know.
sucks too.
Bicycle Race isn't great.
I want to ride my bicycle.
I always thought that was Queen.
It is Queen. That's what I was saying.
Oh, you're talking about Queen.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
One of Queen's, probably Queen's worst versus the Beatles' worst. Oh, I hate that song.
I do too. Raymond loves 3v3, so do I. DNC ENT OT should be a 2-goal lead to win. There'd be more shootouts that way. But I was told everyone hates a shootout too.
Liverpool.
Do people still like the shootout or no?
Yeah, I think so.
Do they? So it's kind of like the Yellow Submarine of hockey. Like people say
I
they
like the
don't like it,
shootout.
but they do.
I like the shootout. Shootouts.
I think they probably like the shootout better.
Can we take it to the streets real quick? I'm curious to get the people's poll.
Yeah.
Do you like the shootout ending in hockey?
I think they
Yes
like
or
it better
no?
than Yellow Submarine. I mean, it's going to be 65-35.
I think it's along the same lines.
You think it's
Like
more
if
you think it's more 50-50?
if you ask somebody, do you like the shootout? They'll say no. But then if you circle back on it and you're talking hockey and you'll say, hey, do you like the shootout? You come back to them, they're like, I guess it's all right.
No, but if you ask them, do you like the shootout more or Yellow Submarine more? I think
they would say Yellow Submarine
I think
if they're being honest.
Really?
But they
I
know,
think they would say shootout.
but it's already compromised
It's more
because
entertaining, and I think it's the mundaneness of the Yellow Submarine and the oversaturation of the billion views.
Flannel, I got a good question from Dabber. How do you feel about Across the Universe?
I find it to be one of their lower mid songs, if that makes sense.
The movie.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah.
The movie, it's all right.
I like that movie.
It's entertaining enough.
there's a whole lot of it's
Yeah.
all right when we're talking about the Beatles.
That's
come
a good.
on.
Well, that's not a Beatle. It is, but
Let me ask you this.
That's a good movie. I like when they're tripping balls and Strawberry Fields is playing, or when he goes into the
Fields Forever.
when he goes into
That's
the
a great
draft
song.
office and they say you want
Hey,
a revolution. That's good. That's a good part of the movie. Hey Jude's my boss's favorite song.
Hey,
RIP.
Jude.
That's his favorite song of all time. Hey Jude, don't let me down.
You see what I'm saying? Like you know who
I-
doesn't have all these questions? Elvis Presley.
Bob
the GOAT.
Seger.
Oh,
Bob Seger.
Talk about overrated. Elvis Presley. He didn't even write his own songs.
He did steal them from black people. That is true.
He did not.
I mean, yeah, he kind of did.
It was. Didn't you watch the movie? It was all agreed to. What are you talking about?
Yeah, everybody came out on top.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Hey. Are we done? Can we get into football now?
Yeah, we can go over and watch some football, please.
All right. Well, hey, if you're gonna get a haircut,
Where
where
should
would
you
you go?
Well, if they want to get a haircut, especially like yours, sir, they can come into Lady Jane's Haircuts. They come into this one in Birmingham. They can ask for Bethany and get it done just like you. Come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams. All expenses paid. Suite to the 2024 NCAA basketball tournament. That's right. No expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 7 days a week. Walking anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. All right, we're off and running here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, and Darren McCarty, and Sam Flannel in his Beatles shirt, and Spencer Raxter as well. Just a bit of NFL breaking news. The Washington Commanders have hired
Dan Quinn.
It's
their head coach.
So Aaron Glenn was not their choice. So Dan Quinn, the new head coach for the Washington Commanders. So that puts all that talk and scuttlebutt to bed. So Aaron Glenn will be the defensive coordinator. And, of course, as well, we all know the story with the offensive coordinator also. So that is very, very good. And the Lions did have a bit of news as well. They hired another veteran coach to their staff, Terrell Williams, who was previously the assistant head coach and defensive line coach for the Tennessee Titans, who obviously was under Mike Vrabel. So all reports are that is a good hire. Football. Yep, absolutely. So that's out there as well. I got to be honest with you. I don't sit there and analyze Tennessee's defensive line or anything like that, or their assistant head coach moves. But by and large, the football community seems to like it, so I'll roll with it too. And away we go. WoodwardSports.com chat poll. Do you like the shootout in hockey? 75% of you say yes, which I'm surprised it's that high. I always hear people talk negatively about the shootout.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they've come around to it. I think they were more against it until it sort of settled in.
Yeah.
Like a new rule. So
I do think that there are some.
And I think we're better at it this year too.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's why we like it more. Yeah,
we like it.
We're better now.
Patrick Kane. That's extra point.
Patrick Kane. I will I will say this though, there are vibes of home run derby to break a tie in baseball equivalency to the shootout.
Okay, well send up your big dog.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I would watch that.
But it decides a game.
There's 160 of them. You can live with a couple. It's better than runner on second in extras.
Really? I actually kind of like that.
That's just if you don't score and the home team gets up, they win. Like,
that's Neal. Technically, that's sort of the shootout.
Yeah.
Or that's 3
but
on,
it's a more,
is that
it's a more
3 on 3.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I guess it's more 3 on 3.
I guess it's more 3 on 3 without a shot clock.
Right.
Maybe
But
they
do
need
have
a shot clock for 3 on 3.
They do have a shot clock. 30 seconds or whatever, or 25, whatever is the pitch clock.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying hockey should
hockey?
have they should have a shot clock in overtime, so you can't just possess the puck. I think that would quench my thirst. Then I just think it's stupid that Ottawa won the face-off and had the puck the entire time.
Okay, so be better. How'd they score?
Because they won the face-off.
Somebody beats somebody one-on-one, right?
But ultimately, they won because they won the face-off. So get better at face-offs. Ooh.
How about be better defensively? It's 3 on 3. It's not like it's 3 on 2. So somebody took a gamble. Somebody got beat.
Big Ass Dummy 46 says, listen to death. Big Ass Dummy 46, haven't noticed you in here before. Welcome, by the way. Appreciate you. I assume you're talking to Sam Flannel.
We thought all the big ass dummies were in here. Not out there.
Well, number 46 is out there in the chat, and he says, listen to death metal, grow up and be a man, Sam Flannel.
I mean, we don't want to do that to his little...
I feel like Flannel listens to harder music than most
I
of
was
us.
going to say virgin, but his honeymoon ears.
Yeah. Wyatt Bear, I like this. The Beatles are the Green Day Blink-182 of the 60s.
That's aggressive.
That is aggressive.
But is it accurate?
No.
I believe it
hell
is.
no.
I think Chuck Brewer brings up a great point, Neal, along the lines to the shot clock is you can't take it back over center. You come out of the zone, but you can't go over center, you lose.
Yeah,
possession.
something like that.
I got more slabs than the Beatles, dog.
That was a great bar. Robert Closius said, well, at least it rewards the more skilled teams. So, yeah, that's fair. All right.
Spoken like a true counselor.
Yep.
And a true agent.
Yeah, exactly. Slash.
Yeah. I want to do this.
Do it.
Because now that, again, we're this week has moved on, and certainly Ben Johnson, I think, helped the healing process, helped the coping mechanisms with Sunday. So now that Ben Johnson's back, and Aaron Glenn will be back, and obviously Dan Campbell will be back. And now I know that the offseason's in front of us, but D-Mac, is it that time to have the discussion then? Because and I'll just lead it this way. Should the Lions expect a Super Bowl? And D-Mac, I'll go first on this one. Because I was one, as Sunday happened, when I woke up Sunday, I wasn't as nervous as I thought I was going to be, because there wasn't this live or die mantra over the game. There wasn't for me the nerves that probably Lamar Jackson or Ravens fans had, or that 49ers fans had dealing with the game, because we're new on the block. And by all accounts, it looks like we're built to last. But I will, however, say this. That helped me cope a little bit Sunday. But now we went there, we learned the lesson, and now it's now it's go time. We're going now. And I say yes. The expectation is Super Bowl starting now. Starting now is the window, right? Do we feel like they maybe overachieved a little bit last year? Possibly. You could say that. But now there's no doubts. Now it's time to go. Now it's Super Bowl time window. The window is open. We are open for business. And here we go. Within 5 years, they need to cash this in. Period. End of story.
So this is more of a clumping of now it's Super Bowl. Because I think if you clump that into not specifically this next year or the year after, whatever, but if you're putting a time in this time period, Super Bowl is at the finish line. I agree with you. I looked at it as next year. How do you build? And you got to remember, you're going to play a first place schedule. If you look at the teams and where you're going to play, it's not going to be easy. The Bears are going to be better. The Packers are going to be better. But I still expect your dominance. I think that if you're going to look short term, because I agree with you, long term, and I'd even say on the 4-year plan, right? Not even the 5-year plan, the 4-year plan, because I believe, looking at everybody else, the window could be longer, but I'm going to be safe with that. But in this next year, like we said this year, of winning a playoff game and hosting a home playoff game, winning your division, I think the short-term goal is the number 1 seed, so that you play the home games at home and get back. If you don't have a number 1 seed, obviously getting back to the NFC Championship game, and we know that the football has to be played. I like your long-term goals. Maybe this was in therapy and stuff like this, where they said you make your short-term and your mid-term and your long-term goals. I think this is a good long-term goal. That could come to fruition sooner than later. If you're going to say next year Super Bowl or bust,
that's aggressive.
To me, that's aggressive. I think that 3-4 years you could put that bigger window. If you wanted to put some pressure on them to control their own destiny, go out and win the number 1 seed, so you host all the games. And that's really it, D-Mac. That's what I want to work on too, because the road is infinitely easier if you're the number 1 seed. And to put that on there too, remember this, guys, and I want everyone to really remember this. Write it down, reference this. The road is hard. You don't just linearly progress. You don't say, oh, well, they went to the NFC Championship game. Next year you go to the Super Bowl. Then the year after that you win the Super Bowl. That's the timeline. There's heartbreak involved along the way. Do people understand the schedule? Do people understand you can get better and have a worse record?
And that certainly could be the case.
Like the reality of what not only you're gonna get better. We're gonna be a better team, but other teams are gonna be better. But like the teams and the places that we have to play on the road, in your in and out of your division and stuff like that, are some of the top teams, right? We played, whereas we took advantage this year and got to the NFC Championship playing a schedule that a non-playoff team played. Now you're a playoff team, a team that has gotten far, so you got to play with the big boys. I like it, right? Because I think that'll test you more, get you road tested and ready for those moments, for those, and I mean that for players and for coaches. So it's all part of the learning experience, but I don't think that's out of hand at all.
WoodwardSports.com, chat thread. Chuck, Neal, are you ready to say Super Bowl or bust next year? Michigan fan wants to know if you're willing to go there yet. Well, if you give them 9 home games and they get to play the Falcons 8 of those 9 home games, and what? What? And they only got to play 4 road games. Then I'll say that. Yeah, sure. Absolutely, I'll say that. And then, like, in the playoffs, they get to play the Falcons again in their first playoff game. And then they have...
How are they going to play them again in the second game?
Yeah,
they got relegated and won the loser bracket and came back up.
No, but like it ties into this, and I know that's what everybody's going to say. And I lost it earlier. Somebody had the message of, well, you got to give Aaron Glenn a number 1 cornerback. Guys, tell me the path right now of getting a number 1 cornerback. Tell me the path. That it's just assumed that it's going to happen. Flannel, what's the path to get a number 1 cornerback right now?
Sign Jalen Johnson or L'Jarius Sneed.
Because
that's probably it.
Is Sneed the number 1 cornerback on his own team?
Yeah, him and McDuffie are kind of 1A, but yeah, he played at cornerback number 1 level. He's better than anything we have.
Okay, so that's 2 guys.
Yeah,
right.
That's probably it.
So no one else in football wants those guys, including their own teams.
Of course, sure. Yeah, I mean, of course
they
do.
You see what I'm saying
yeah,
here? Like
yeah.
everyone just assumes that this is fantasy football, and you're going to draft them in the draft.
I guess the other
Nate Wiggins.
Hey, Nate Wiggins or Cooper DeJean. But I guess if there's another semi-realistic option, is Emmanuel Mosley ever going to be back healthy and be what he was? And he might not even be number 1.
Right, but now we're in the land of what if.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now we're in the land of we got to catch a break again.
Sure.
I want to prime everybody. This isn't your fantasy football draft. There are competition for everybody's services. You know what I'm saying? Like this is where we are right now. And everyone's fired. Steven Syrett, trade up for Kool-Aid. Okay, again, guys, everybody calm down for a minute here. Because say they do that. So you mean to tell me that the end of next January, you're at San Francisco playing them, and you're the 2 seed and they're the 1 seed, and you're playing San Francisco, and a rookie cornerback is gonna set you free.
Yes.
Against Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk,
Well,
the rookie cornerback.
A couple years
Holmes
ago, if I
drafted.
was the Jets and you had Sauce Gardner over there, then yes, I'd be confident. So,
But you're not picking 2 or 3.
I get it.
If Brad Holmes drafts him to bring him in to be the number 1 quarterback, I trust it. You look at guys like that have done it so far since they've been brought in. You bring up Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley, even Brian Branch, Brad Holmes' other pick that he wanted last year.
Branch had his rough patches this year.
Devon Witherspoon was the guy Brad Holmes wanted. He looks like he could possibly win Rookie of the Year.
He was a 6 pick, right?
Yeah, and so
like all the guys you listed, man, were top 10 dudes.
yeah, it's fair, but I have faith.
No, I have faith in him, obviously. But to say you're going to draft a guy in the high 20s and you're going to drop him in there and he's going to be a dominant force, that's a stretch, man.
That's a good point.
It's a stretch. I want people to be prepared. There's going to be heartbreak I venture to guess there'll be heartbreak along the way before there's a Super Bowl championship.
From my experience,
Right, D-Mac?
We already had heartbreak. Heart broke twice.
This
in
isn't the worst.
season.
We got over this pretty.
How is
We're
the 40?
getting over this pretty easy. And yes, this stings and it was that close, but we don't realize how close because we can still feel that we're right there. It isn't until if something else happens that we feel we're further away.
Absolutely. Hey, you're further away from the best in home security if you're not with Guardian.
Absolutely. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians, and take the time to recommend security and automated solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call Guardian Alarm today at the number 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring, call anytime, day or night. No other Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed. But I need you to call the number 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology back by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work with people who have been proven to care. They don't care about business. They don't care about pleasure. They just want to protect you and your stuff. Give Guardian a call today. 1-800.
Stay out. Stay out of me liking Danilo Gallinari as a fit for Cade when he comes back. I actually think they could play pretty well together.
That's right. Danilo. Come stai? Va bene. Stay out of free agency inactivity, Detroit Tigers. Come on. The division's there. Go take it.
Guardian Alarm, your local street experts. Tell them Big D Energy, we sent you.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this?
You don't know how to use it?
This is better.
Join now through January 19th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal extended through January 19th.
Over 50 Metro Detroit locations.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience. It's called the Feldman Advantage. There's 18 Feldman Automotive locations throughout Metro Detroit, so you know there's one in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. And make sure you catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet in Novi every other Monday. That's right, Feldman Automotive, the very best in the automotive game. And don't forget Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. Keeping it pushing here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, talking Detroit Lions, Neal, Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. And the expectations change now. The expectations are a Super Bowl. I do not think it's just a linear step where you get to the Super Bowl and you win it next year. There's heartbreak along the way. Ask the San Francisco 49ers fans. Ask the Baltimore Ravens fans. They got a two-time MVP at quarterback. Ask a Bills fan. Ask pretty much anybody outside of Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady.
Like, do you want to go through that heartbreak? You see it's out there. But, if I'm going to say the extreme is the Bills, right? Being a Bills fan and sticking to it. That's even worse than a Cleveland fan or a Detroit fan and not even getting there and not knowing it is being close and having to come up short. So, doesn't have to be that way. Hopefully it won't be that way, but shows you that it could be.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. You guys are on your game today here, by the way, since we started. Not when we talked about the Beatles, but talking about the Lions, you guys are. Luigi says a rookie safety and rookie tight end helped us get there this year, so it's possible. But I'm talking about this number one cornerback that everybody wants so bad. You know, there's not a ton of data on it to say that guy exists in the upper 20s of the draft that's going to walk in and help you win an NFC championship. Put a championship team over the top.
If I'm Brad Holmes, Neal, right where we said yesterday, you're going to look to spend it on probably either the defensive end or a cornerback. So the question is now, is that guy out there? You mentioned Jalen Johnson, Darius Sneed, we mentioned Gilmore the other day, which may be inside track because his brother's here. But who did you look ahead to next year? Is there somebody, a free agent, a quarterback, or somebody that's contract or coming available or something like that might be around and available? Or is it somebody like a Marcus Peters, Jalen Ramsey, like an older, established, guy that's been there for a 1 year, like was done with C.J. Gardner-Johnson? Is that what you're looking to do? All the different questions I think that you have to ask, but you would expect them with where they're at to have to go after one of those two positions, would you not?
Maybe, because Wisco 35 has a great point too, and I think this is very much in play, by the way, guys. Wisco 35. I think there's going to be a lot of disappointed people come free agency. I don't think they make a huge splash. They stay the course and lock up their guys and build through the draft. And Wisco, let me tell you something. You are very much in play. Your theory is very much in play.
That would be the on-point Brad Holmes move, right? What has he showed us in the past?
Exactly.
That move.
And I'm not calling for it, but DMAC, everybody, Spenny, I know you get charged up over the transaction. Be prepared, man.
But
be prepared, because that could be the line of thought.
Though, because again, in Holmes we trust or whatever, and that just tells me there's a certain criteria to fit here, and their guy isn't out there. I don't think it's anything like he doesn't want to spend the money or have the money to spend or whatever, but it's a certain person, and if they don't go do that, then they're going to continue because they believe more than us as fans have believed in the past in what was there, right? So you got to let them cook.
And backing that up too with this cap space. What if I told you, you know how we're kind of obsessed with the off-season grade or whatever? What kind of grade would you guys give this scenario if I told you they didn't make a splash in free agency, they locked up Goff, they locked up Amon-Ra St. Brown, and maybe they brought back like a C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and they front-loaded those deals so they could take the heavy hits to it this year and keep it pushing? What kind of grade would you give that offseason? Like you locked up your cornerstone pieces, you sprinkled a dude or two in there, you mainly ran it back, but the heavy lifting of the contracts are done. You see what I'm saying?
So that's a B?
Right. Like, but as I spell that out, is that absurd for anybody out there? Does that sound absurd? Would you pound the table and say, what the F's going on?
I think because of what we saw, right? Not just what we were told, but what we eventually saw with this Lions team doing something in a lot of our generations that we'd never seen before, winning playoff games, that we got to trust the process. And around here, when you show us as fans, we're willing to stick by you because, okay, your process worked. I look back at, Scotty Bowman winning his coat coming in, but it's sort of like once he got it cooking, it was, okay, we get it, understand you're this many moves ahead, and there was a system and a culture that was put in place. Took a little bit of time, but I think as the fans realized that too, because Scotty wasn't the most liked guy when he was first here, trying to trade Stevie out of town, and Mr. I having to kibosh that and different things like
That's
that.
wild.
But it worked out. Yeah, but
Scotty Bowman came in, dude, and just was, this is how we're doing it, and he didn't care. As you can,
and then it worked out.
It did, yeah. No, absolutely. What about you, Spenny? Because I think just knowing you for the time that we've worked together, I would think on surface you'd be pissed about that.
Yeah.
But would it make sense?
No, I mean, I guess, but I think you have your chance to do it. You have the money, you have the draft,
right,
you have the ability.
But something like that, you are ensuring for the long term that you'll have. You know what I'm saying? Because that picture that I painted, your heavy lifting's done with St. Brown and Goff at the front. So you know what I'm saying? Like that would ensure that you could keep it pushing down the road.
Yeah.
Do we have to do a better job as fans as maybe understanding that?
I think possibly, but I also think we've seen it in the NFL how it works when you go all in and you try to get a Super Bowl. And I understand the fans' reaction. There's people in the heavyweights heavyweight shit. They're like, I want sustained success. I want a dynasty. I want a fucking Super Bowl. That's what I want. I don't care how you get it. I just want a Super Bowl. And then we can build from there when you're talking dynasty and sustained success and shit like that. Yeah, that's cool. Sustained success, I don't really get. Is that you want to keep getting to the NFC Championship game? Is that your benchmark? Because my benchmark is to win a Super Bowl at all costs. That's what I want more than anything. So I'd rather go all in one year and then deal with the repercussions later as it falls.
But I guess we're kind of dancing around the question. Then let's cut the shit, then, Spenny.
Yeah.
This roster, as it is right now, is it a splash free agency signing away from your Super Bowl?
I think so. I think there's two players you need to make this roster a legitimate Super Bowl threat, and that is a number one cornerback and a secondary edge rusher. And you can get a splash number one cornerback in free agency and then get a secondary edge rusher.
I thought there was only two.
Yeah, and go get one. Throw a bag at him.
I mean, maybe Stephon Gilmore for another year. If you want to add a third one, that would probably be the one. I didn't include him, but that was probably a failing on my part. I would probably include him as well.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread.
See, like Mark Walston says, nah, homie, success is what we did last year after year winning. I will take a Super Bowl championship over 3 years to the NFC Championship game in a row in a fucking heartbeat. It is the Super Bowl. That is what you play the game for. You don't play the game to get to the NFC Championship. You play the game to win the fucking Super Bowl. That's not winning, dude. That's you play to win the championship. That's what I want to do.
So you're telling me, okay, but I'm glad we have this example right now. So you're telling me then with the 49ers right now, okay? So you would...
We had a 17-point lead on them in halftime.
I understand that. I'm saying with the 49ers right now, Patrick Mahomes is in the way.
Yes, we beat Patrick Mahomes already.
No. I'm saying put yourself in the 49ers perspective right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you made all these moves, right? What if they lose to the Chiefs?
Then it's a failure.
Right, but I'm saying, though, now they have one more year that they can squeeze out of it before the bottom really falls out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, though? What if they were able to continue to build that? And they like, look, let's be real. They caught the ultimate break with Brock Purdy.
Yes, they did.
They caught the ultimate break. They are
after getting the ultimate worst
than
Trey Lance.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you understand how fortunate they were.
They came out smelling like, I wouldn't say like roses, but like, you know, maybe carnations a little bit, even in that, because they got Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Like, when you recreate that, dude, it is absurd that they got away with that. But they did. And here they are. And now their window is right here. And maybe next year, too. And after that, that's when the bottom kind of falls out of their scenario. But they pushed, right? Like, they pushed. They didn't...
They've had a... Is that what you guys want? Like, if the 49ers don't win the Super Bowl this year, is that what you want to be? Because they've been consistent winners.
Right,
they've been constant threats for the past 6 years. No,
but they sacrificed some of that, though, Spenny.
I'd rather be the Rams and cash one in.
But they sacrificed some of that.
Cash one in, then sit out, have a good off season the next year, go get surgery, then come back, make playoffs, whatever like this. But you got one. Maybe give it one more kick with your guys in the next year. Revamping and stuff like, but you got yours.
But Spenny, they did that mentality when they went to go get Trey Lance. Now they got away with it because of Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
If they didn't get Brock Purdy, it would have been a colossal
failure. But they
failure.
also did that mentality to get where they are today with guys like Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, Javon Hargrave, signing all these guys, bringing them in. Like, I just want a fucking Super Bowl, man.
I know, but we all do. Yeah. We all do, brother. And if you want the best in pet supplies, I know what you want, too.
There's only one place to go if you want the best in pet supplies, and that is Premier Pet Supply. Because Premier Pet Supply is your best bet. Hands down, Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers, with one major difference. Family, locally owned and operated for over 30 years. 60 brands of food with nutrition experts to help you. Same day local curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Neal Ruhl here for WoodwardSports.com/shop. The very best in Detroit sports wearables. Get the Stoke Not Scared t-shirt. Line it up for next year, everybody. It'll be here before you know it. Hoodies, beanies. It's hoodie season. It's beanie season. But don't forget, too, Eventually it'll be warm. We got a Woodward Sports golf line that you can rock out on the golf course. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey. It's all there for you. Go to woodwardsports.com/shop. Keeping it pushing, everybody. Big D Energy. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Spencer Raxter, Sam Flannel here in the building. Flannel, I like having you back here in the booth with us, kicking it, man. I do.
Oh, I appreciate you guys having me, and starting next week, you're gonna have me in another capacity a couple days a week as well.
Shout out.
Well, hey, we'll save that one for later.
We'll see
to let the people know.
Yep.
We'll let the people know about that. But yeah, no, we're talking Detroit Lions right now, and there are a couple of questions, and we're just kind of kicking things around, and I want everybody to be prepared, man. I do. Kevin Donaldson, what about help on the line to pressure the quarterbacks, which would help the secondary? Is a guy like Max Crosby in play we were drooling with over the deadline? No. If you're the Raiders, are you trading Max Crosby?
No. And to trade for Max Crosby, it takes at least 2 first-round picks, and you're going to have to pay him $30 million a year.
Yeah, doesn't he? Isn't he on the books for like 26 or something?
I'll look at it right now. I'll look at it right now. Oh yeah, the Vegas Raiders.
Or what is he projected?
Max Crosby, $25 million cap hit next year.
Yeah. He signed a 4-year, $94 million extension.
Overspent $1 million.
Yeah.
So I'm not. That's why I don't get to play with the books.
He's a $27 million cap hit in 25 and a $27 million cap hit in 26.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I mean, that's your Aiden Hutchinson, right?
Yes.
So. Right?
Plus, they're not trading. You know, they were a borderline playoff team last. I know we forget, right? Like we clown the Raiders. They were a borderline playoff team last year. They went to the playoffs the year before, correct?
Yes.
Or was it the year before
no,
that?
The Raiders finally did something smart.
When they went for the tie.
Yeah.
Or they could have gone for the tie.
Yeah.
They did something smart. They went with Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
They listened to their guys, right? They listened to their locker room. I mentioned it before. I think that's the new trend, more of because I think Antonio Pierce, being a former player, is cut out of the Dan Campbell mold, right? The motivation, and we saw that. I saw that team loving to play for him.
There's a youth movement in coaching right now.
What's that?
There's a youth movement in coaching.
Well, you look at what happened. You look at you mentioned it earlier before the show. Seattle goes from the oldest coach in the league to the youngest coach in the league, and Mike McDonald,
is 36.
How many years removed from being the defensive coordinator for Michigan?
2.
Two?
I think. Yeah, right.
I mean,
2.
You know, the hot commodity. You look at what Atlanta did. Turning down, decide, no, we're not going to go the Bill Parcells way and give them the keys of the cabinet. We're going to go to, who they get, Raheem Morris?
Yes.
So another direction. So there is a movement, so to speak. Even the Dan Quinn to Washington. I like Dan Quinn. I like that sort of move. The only thing, he's a defensive guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
And they got the second overall pick. Probably going to be a quarterback. So that'll be interesting. Either the OC is, but.
Super Saiyan Lion says, I have a question for D-Mac and Neal. Are you guys going to be disappointed if the Lions draft someone you didn't expect? And if yes, why? No, I mean, they drafted somebody I didn't expect last year. And what was my tenor when we showed up for the show on Monday?
Brad Holmes.
Brad Holmes can do what he wants.
And Holmes we trust.
Yeah.
And it's more of the long game. You look at now with like Jameson Williams and really coming off his first year, the evolution of that. I was talking to Matt Broder, who's our Lions beat writer, and we're talking about, things to come. But I was saying, did you see it? Because you're at practice every day, developing. And he was like, yes. Jahmyr Gibbs, same sort of thing. I think Jack Campbell's in that. He's in that group too. It just, I think, at linebacker and being responsible and stuff like this takes a little bit longer. To adjust. He's more on the, like what we saw Aiden took into his second year. So I think these guys, then, you look at Laporta right away, right out of the rip, and the consistency that he showed. So you're in such great shape.
Bada bing, bada boom. The notion you can't build sustained success because you spent in free agency is asinine, especially when you have Holmes who can draft. Having a talented GM makes it more likely that they'll spend some money. But bada bing, bada boom, here's the difference. When you look at these other franchises that we're talking about, their cornerstone guys are already locked up. Look at the 49ers. Look at the Chiefs. All their cornerstone guys are already locked up. None of ours are. So that's the difference. That's the difference between the two spots and where the franchises are. Like, this thing is a road, everybody. We always talk about the analogy of going up the highway to go up north. This thing is a road. That's the difference between the Chiefs and the 49ers, and to some degree the Ravens, than where the Lions are. All of their cornerstone guys are locked up, and it's go time for them right now. The Lions have to tackle that portion of it next. You have to lock up your dudes, your franchise dudes, the St. Browns and the Sewells and the Goffs and all of that. Eventually the Laportas. Your franchise dudes, they still have to lock them up. Look at the 49ers, man. Bosa, long-term. Debo, but he's still long-term, right? Relatively long-term. Kittle, long-term. They're all locked up, man. The Ravens, Mark Andrews, long-term. Now, they got Likely in the mix, too. You got Lamar, $250 million long-term. The Chiefs, obviously, Patrick Mahomes is never going anywhere. That's the challenge they keep running into. What are they going to do with Chris Jones? They franchise him. That's $33 million. You know, they got some questions to answer, too. What are they going to do with them, Sam Flannel? He's going to walk, isn't he?
Probably, but, man, that interior of the Chiefs' defensive line without Chris Jones is suspect. But the secondary, they flipped it in a draft. They did. Linebacking core, got Nick Bolton. I mean, the center, Creed Humphrey. They've drafted extraordinarily well as the Lions have.
And no one talks about that with the Chiefs.
Don't get it twisted. Yeah. We think of Kansas City as this offensive juggernaut.
No.
It's a defense that's carried them since the Super Bowl last year.
It's been recently acquired within the last 3 years of the draft.
Chris Jones is, if there's ever a case for pay that man his money, it's him. Get right back and held out and got his $1 million in bonus, but got you right back there.
They traded Tyreek Hill.
They did.
Like, right in the guts of, like, being a dominant, borderline dynasty franchise. They traded Tyreek Hill and kept it pushing. And they didn't do that through signing, what are we going to do at cornerback? They went and got their people in the draft. I think that's going to be... With the Chiefs and the 49ers, the core of the Niners was drafted... And we'll get into the Super Bowl talk more next week. The core of the 49ers was drafted, but the pieces have all been sprinkled. You know what I'm saying? So, again. So, yeah, jump into that woodwardsports.com chat thread and get your thoughts out there. Sage Roberts, Aaron Glenn would have been fired a long time ago if he wasn't Texas A&M alum like that. Can we stop with the Aaron Glenn thing, by the way? Can we stop with it? Because the biggest issue that the Lions had, he fixed. You can lie to yourself. You can lie to yourself and not think that's the case. Did this defense, when they went through their rough patch, which was around Thanksgiving, what was the problem? They were putting no pressure on the quarterback whatsoever. None.
Changed up the whole blitz scheme.
In a week, in that long week they had between Thanksgiving and the Broncos game, he changed the whole complexion of everything.
Didn't I see a stat? Was it 9 games with 2+ sacks?
Yes, and he was responsible for that. If that doesn't, again, because we went through the roster, everybody, this whole fire Aaron Glenn thing and get Aaron Glenn out of it, based on what? I'm giving you the data. He fixed the problem, did he not? He took egg noodles and ketchup and gave you a pasta dinner out of it. So get off of him, dude. For real. I'm giving you data. You tell me why. Why fire Aaron Glenn? Tell me why. I just told you why not. You tell me why.
Yeah, and I like when people say fire Aaron Glenn, and then you ask them what this Lions team needs, and the first 3 things they say are
defense, cornerback, linebacker,
edge rusher.
Edge.
Yeah, it's like, oh, maybe the defense isn't complete yet. Maybe that's the reason.
Yeah. Sage Roberts, top 5 offense, every game goes down to the wire. Why, Sage? What does this Lions team need? Like, come on, you guys. Help me understand.
Yeah, I think Brad Holmes showed you that we're going to address offense this last draft, and you got to expect them to address more defense this draft or in free agency. But I think you nailed it. You nailed it. Defense is incomplete. Can't grade him completely yet because it's not a finished product. It's probably 80% done. what they grow and they learn. Now, here's the thing. As they've adjusted and changed their scheme to put in more blitz packages, would that not be a conversation and maybe change the way that they draft too? If they're going to use more of guys coming out of the backfield, cornerback stuff like this, so that could play into it. I think the athleticism and stuff, but I think they have to address, and they know it, that their number one concern isn't scoring points; it's preventing them. And they did a hell of a job bending and not breaking for the most part of the season, holding teams to field goals and stuff like that.
We saw it in the playoffs.
Did.
You saw it in the play. And again, too, like we can talk about the 49ers game. 3 field goal attempts and an interception. Should that be enough? Should be, right?
Yeah, when you look at what you didn't do on the other side of executing.
There you go.
Execute.
If you get back to it, that should be enough. Rams, 2 touchdowns, 3 field goals. Boom, you win. What was the Lions' defense? They were like middle of the road, right? 15, 16, 17, something like that, 18. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. To be fair, Aaron Glenn took over the 32nd ranked defense when he got here. See, D-Mac, that's my biggest thing. Don't forget where you came from, man. Don't forget where you came from. Can't forget.
No. I mean, and it's built. That's the biggest thing you build up. They're building this.
They are.
Their window, is right now. They know that it is, and from what they succeeded this year, I think that puts them further ahead. But these are conversations that they're having.
Absolutely. And where I came from was Planet Fitness about 2 hours ago, as a matter of fact, because they're the best gym. Back day. We did arms today. We did some arms. We only ran a 5K.
Pull downs and rows, baby.
Yeah. We did some arms. We did some dips.
Okay.
We did some dips on there. Only ran a 5K. We're coming off it a little bit. But you can do that at Planet Fitness. Tons of cardio equipment, tons of weight equipment, the 30-second circuit, basically everything you need. Clean facilities, take a shower, clean locker room, tanning beds, hydro massage, all of it, and it is available to you. 24 cents down for the new year, $10 per month. I tell you this, guys, every single day, because they're the best gym in the gym game. I'll never be a member at another gym. I'm telling you that. I will always be at Planet Fitness till I die. Absolutely. So Planet Fitness, go to planetfitness.com. You can join there. Pull in the parking lot. You're going to pass over 50 of them in the Metro Detroit area if you drive around the whole Metro Detroit area on the way home. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has been providing all of Michigan's best restaurants, hotels, casinos with the very best beef in all the land. The prime beef, the dry-aged beef, the Wagyu beef, all of it. If you've eaten a good steak in this town, chances are it's come from Fairway Packing Company. Don't forget they have the grab-and-go steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods as well. A lot of people say you're serious about your grill game. Not if you ain't getting the meat from Fairway Packing Company. I say ain't for effect. Trademark Ryan Ermanni. Go to fairwaypacking.com. Check it all out there. Very best ribeyes I've ever had in my life. I got from the Fairway Packing Grab-and-Go Steak Shop. Seasoned them up, dropped them on the grill. They were incredible. If you're serious about grilling, it's fairwaypacking.com. All right, pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, and D-Mac, Darren McCarty, and Sam Flannel in his Beatles T-shirt, and Spencer Raxer in his Woodward hockey hoodie, because it is hoodie season.
It is.
Jump into that woodwardsports.com chat thread and get your thoughts out there. And let everybody know, bada bing, bada boom, everyone's begging for more defensive talent, but we're hating on Glenn for not having a top defensive unit. He did pretty well with what he had to work with. Glenn is an asset. And again, I didn't want this to be this, and I know how this is going to go, but D-Mac, I bring you in. You open my eyes to this even about the Jared Goff thing. There is something to be said about the locker room. That's real. That's real. Tell him again, D-Mac, please.
Dude, they play for him. Right?
What do you know about that?
Right, exactly. You need a coach that you'll play for. And to me, it was lack of talent or whatever else more than anything else. I think that they, for matter of fact, probably overachieved from what they had, the way the injuries. The one thing that really hurt them is once their starters went down, and, all respect to Kendall Vildor, but, when he's your deep coverage in the NFC Championship game, maybe that's one of the things. It's not so much as the starters, although we do know defensively we need a couple starters, a corner and defensive end. But the fact is, it's putting guys behind, right? Look at what Malcolm did, right? You look at Malcolm for his opportunity, right? Barnes goes down right there for almost next play, boom. Malcolm steps up, Malcolm Rodriguez, and makes an interception.
Spenny's
right?
boy.
Spenny's, we were saying that, Spenny's boy in the biggest game right there, right? So next man up. So there's more to it like that, but the first thing is they all believe in him. Dan Campbell believes in him, the locker room, this is a unit. I mean, if you don't see the fact of, Ben Johnson leading the way, usually it's a player that leads the way. In this case, it's your highly coveted offensive coordinator, but it just goes to show you they're all on the same page. So, and they hear everything that we're talking about, and a lot of times when you take pride in that, you want to play harder. But no. I just think to me, when you line it up, it's lack of talent,
which they're still in the process. They're still in the process.
That's what I think. I think in certain ways, I think that, the Jack Campbell thing, because defense, I think it takes longer to adjust. You look at the way that Aiden's adjusted over his, the first few years of stuff like this has come into his own. I just think it takes a little bit more time. But they address the offense more than they addressed the defense last year, and I think it'll be opposite this year in the draft.
I would agree. Unless you don't know how the board's going to fall.
Well, that's it too.
That's the other thing too. Like when I say be prepared, he's shown if there's a value opportunity, he will make his move. He will certainly make his move. So there is that out there
for players
as well.
They want. They don't take guys that because they're supposed to or because they fought. No, you're our guy. Watch all the behind the scenes videos in the war rooms and stuff like this, right? The big thing that I know for this team is the interview process is big.
Absolutely.
Big.
And the Detroit Lions, 4 of the top 92 picks in the draft. Let him cook. Let him cook, everybody. Again, jump into that woodwardsports.com chat thread. Real cream of wheat. Rodrigo is good, but not a starting linebacker. No coincidence. Purdy looked like a Lamar after Barnes went down. Well, real cream of wheat, let me tell you guys this, too. Not everybody is Lawrence Taylor on a roster. You want to know what a guy like Rodrigo's value is? Fullback gets hurt. He goes and plays fullback. Barnes goes down. He goes and makes a play. That you have.
Special teams
He's a fucking 6-round pick.
I know, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Guess what? Not everybody is that dude.
Versatility, and the versatility is your value.
100%, man. Special teams guy. All of it, man. There will never
always
be.
Find a spot.
Yeah, there will never be Rodrigo slander on this show. And I'm sure from 5 to 7, there will probably never be Rodrigo slander either. But he's you know, you can't question that man. You can't. You need dudes like that to win. At some point, which he made one of the biggest plays in the biggest game, in the biggest moment that this franchise has had in 30 years. He made one of the biggest plays in the game. Argue it. You cannot. So that is out there as well. Spenny asked the question, too. Is it realistic to expect the pass defense to improve as drastically as the run defense did? And D-Mac, and Spenny, is this fair to answer your question? Can I see how it shakes out first? Is that fair?
That's fair.
Can I see how it shakes out first?
Yeah, I think that the initial response would be no, because you're coming from too big of a place. I don't think you came from that big of a deficit in plugging up your run defense as what you have to plug up your pass defense.
Now, they were what? Second best run defense in the league? Mm-hmm. Comfortably? I just don't think that's a realistic. I don't care. If they traded for Sauce Gardner, I wouldn't expect their pass defense to be second in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what can they be? What do you expect them to be? Top 10?
Again.
Or top half?
Yeah, top half.
You're top half and you're a top 5 run defense. Boom, you're right there.
You're a top 10 defense. You know, there it is. And again, like, just some improvement. I still think, and to be fair, I fight this. I can't get mad at the people for it. I still think we don't realize what it takes organizationally to continually improve, because it is not a splash signing. It is not, our fantasy football draft. It's not.
Well, think about it.
It's continued knocking at the door.
We're in new waters now.
Yeah.
And as far as the bar got not only set higher, it got moved up. It's like the high jumper. We're at 6'11". We're going to put it up to 7'1". What's the record? Oh, I don't know, 7'10". Put it up to 8 feet. You know what I'm saying? The bar has been so much higher because of what you've accomplished. So are you chasing that bar to the NFC? I just think that here's where the calm, cool, collective heads come into play. Trust the process. The process is working. And who's the first one to preach that? That's what you hear about Dan Campbell. And it goes back to what he's been preaching since day one. Right? Since day one. Listen, man, you got to trust me. I know it's going to be hard, but the stats tell us that, we get into get into physical contact and training camp and stuff. Right? All the stuff that we reported on for the past 3 years is why it's coming to fruition. And they all buy in. That's all. It doesn't matter what he's telling them to do. They all buy in.
Cat spot. Neal doesn't understand that when the Lions give Goff $50 million a year, I don't think it's going to be quite that number. It'll be in that ballpark, though. They won't have the money for top edge rushers or top cornerbacks. Well, that's funny, Brandon, because the Ravens just gave their quarterback $250 million, and yet they can give a tight end $14 million per year too. That's weird, Cats. I'm sure Brad Holmes will find a way to make that work. I'm sure he will. Right?
And I'm sure Sheila will. Cash money over cap money or whatever it is. Cash
You know what? To be fair, like that's... We talk about the Lions taking a next step, like talent-wise or draft-wise or things like that. They need to take a step organizationally, D-Mac, because this is new waters for them. And this is a really nuanced conversation. But you've heard us talk about the cash over cap thing. Like that's how the Rams do it, where they can come in and bust out those checks with these huge signing bonuses. Because when you sign Matt Stafford to 4 years at $160 million with $110 million guaranteed signing, guaranteed at signing, you have to physically write the check and send it to the escrow company.
How's the Ford Motor Company stock doing right now?
Well, but see, like we know that if you own an NFL team, you have the money. Right? Like you have the money. But mentally, you have to go to that place too, where you become comfortable with that.
Thank God Sheila's there.
You see what I'm saying?
I think it's all a part of it. I think she's waiting. I think she's like, she's more like, How much do you need, Brad? How much do you need? Not now, Sheila. Not now. Just wait. I'll come to you and tell me, do you need the check now every time she sees it? Do you need it now? Do you need it now? Like, I just have the impression that she's going to do whatever it takes.
Right.
Because she's proven that. They all have. Until what? Until they prove
that they
not.
don't. Yeah.
That they don't.
That is something. That is something. Kevin Bell, franchise tag Goff, then franchise tag St. Brown the next season. Kevin, that's not the way real organizations work. Correct, D-Mac?
D-Mac, you tell me. That's a lot. You lost me when he said cap.
No. I'm talking about in the locker room.
Oh, what?
What if the Red Wings franchise tag Steve Yzerman? What would that tell the locker room?
There's no commitment. The lack of commitment or direction and belief in who your leader is.
What would you know about that, D-Mac? You were only a couple lockers down.
Yeah, no. You have to have commitment to your top guys so that everybody else. It's the hierarchy falling in line, so it's more of a commitment. And when and it's also too. What do your leaders do? Not only on the field or in the locker room, but as far as how do they conduct their business?
It's not the way it works in real organizations. It's just not. That's not the way they operate. So, but hey, a real organization, when you talk about insurance, that would be Swiss Insurance.
Absolutely. Because it's football season. What a heck of a football season it's been, whether it's been college or pro. You got the big game coming up. It's also the perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. So shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network. They should be covering you too. Give my buddy Mark a call today. Swiss Insurance, 248-800-4177, or go to SwissINS.com.
At Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this?
You don't know how to use it?
This is better.
Join now through January 19th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal extended through January 19th.
Over 50 Metro Detroit locations.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. Neal Ruhl here for Jack Labrador. Rest in peace to the same old Lions. Guess what else has found the grave? That old tired rock, paper, scissors game as well. Jack Labrador's revolutionized rock, paper, scissors with 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing 3-point play. Discover the action at jacklabrador.gg. The sun, surprisingly, not out again today. Won't be out next week either. May not ever come out again. So you and the family want a new card game, the hot new card game? Very simple. jacklabrador.gg. Scan the QR code on your screen. It's Jack Labrador. Keeping it pushing, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Cat Spot was hitting me with the 50 million thing for golf, and it's almost like my friends at Spot Track listen to the show and then they send out the tweet, right on command. They tweeted just within the past couple seconds. They said, Patrick Mahomes entered March of 2023 with a $50 million cap hit. That was the number. They converted $12 million of his $40 million compensation for that season that we're under right now into a signing bonus. So they lowered it by $9.6 million. Now they're in the Super Bowl. Entering the offseason with a high QB cap hit doesn't mean your ability to contend is over. There are tools to use. We're not to those tools yet, though, but we will be soon. We will be soon. Get familiar with them, guys, because we're going to get to that point. All right, because I do want to get to the Red Wings, and I do want to take the temperature in the room for the Red Wings, But I do want to touch on this because we didn't get a chance to discuss it. And Spenny had it on the show sheet, and I couldn't get to it. But now I want to talk about it. Recreating the season, D-Mac. What were some of your favorite memories of the season? Because D-Mac, I got to tell you, man, this season was every bit the season, that 91 season when I was a little kid. And you mentioned it to me. I even unscrewed the fandom lid a little bit and let it fly.
Which was cool to be able to see you and be able to enjoy it and go back. First thing that comes to mind is J-Mo's touchdown catch in Tampa on the road, just sort of waiting for his coming out party. I think Jahmyr Gibbs also stepping up and watching, David Montgomery being what you expected him to be and probably, exceeding that a little bit, but to Jahmyr Gibbs to come up, to Sam Laporta coming in, Jared Goff, Jack Fox, just being as clutch as anybody as a punter. I love Spenny and I do the live streams, the moments and the difference of the live streams. Spenny and I laughing when Jake McQuaid, the long snapper, would be walking down, ripping guys off piles and stuff, being the big brother, the different stuff like that, and just really just watching everybody, the enjoyment and what it means to everybody else, and be able to, it was the first journey for most of us. And even for the ones that have been there before, it had been so long that it almost seemed like a first journey itself. So to me, what I'll remember is how the Lions brought us all sort of back together, and now we know what it feels like to have a legit football team, and now we can ask the legit questions that we're talking about now about our football team, to how to maintain this. It wasn't a shot in the eye. That's the one thing. 2004, so 10 years ago, right, with that team, it just felt it was now or never.
Yeah, it was your only shot.
Now it just feels like, oh my gosh, it's still exciting because what are we going to add? And who's putting this together? And they're not even done. I think they're further along than they thought they'd be at this point. But that just means they're going to the play sheet and say, okay, when we're here, what are we going to do? You brought up a great point as far as when it comes to a salary cap. It's almost when you get better and you get into these other waters, more programs are open to. Oh, you can use this tax deduction.
It's like mortgages,
It's almost
the VA
like being
discount.
A millionaire in this country, where you get the tax rebates, right? To the rich, to the 1%. That's where you're going to go swim in those waters.
We have become kind of the 1% of the NFL, right? Yeah, it's weird.
That's the thing. You're getting into those waters where legitimately, when you talk about the top 5 or 6 teams in this league moving forward, you are absolutely one of them because of how you're built, what you have. Now it'll be interesting because now we can talk more as these contracts come in place. But now it's almost like finally we graduated kindergarten or elementary school, whatever you want.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, DNCENT, the Broncos game. I just bought my house and was watching the game with the flat screen on the ground. Great times. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
You know what it was, too? The counterpunch all year. When we get knocked down, we counterpunch, whether it was the Baltimore game or
the Packers
or coming
game,
out
yeah.
is when we had to. The most disappointing was that home at Thanksgiving against Green Bay. But again, we used that to our advantage, and that propelled us later in the season. I thought the way that we've sort of put away the question about winning on the road, Dan Campbell's first, were we ever going to win a road game? Now we can go, play on the road in different spots, especially within the division, and be successful.
Jack Stark, my best memory was LaFleur's post-game press conference after that Thursday night football game in Lambeau. That was pure art. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I remember that too. That one was pretty funny. Sam Flannel, it's funny that D-Mac brought up the J-Mo touchdown. That was probably the low light of your of the season for the Lions for you, right? You were punching air.
No, come on now. All right, so the highlight for me was, and this is something...
Michigan winning the national championship.
Well, that was definitely the highlight of sports for the year for me. But as far as the Lions go, and this is a kind of a personal one, it was the Bears game at home, because it was the only time I went to Ford Field this year. It was my first time at Ford Field, and since before before 2020, I'll just say that. And on that day, I did the whole bullseye tailgate at Eastern Market with my mom and wife and hung out with all the guys. It was a lot of fun. And then when the game started and it went along, because I thought, I'm going to go to that tailgate, I'm going to watch the Lions kick the Bears' ass, and it's going to be great. But that was the game where the Bears got ahead 26-14 with under 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Jared Goff had thrown 3 picks, and everything had just gone wrong. But like a good redemption story, they totally redeemed themselves and came back and got the go-ahead touchdown, and then Aiden Hutchinson with his strip sack safety of Justin Fields closed the game out, and that was the loudest I've ever heard a building for a game. Even bigger, even louder than some of those Michigan Stadium big house games. That was my highlight because I was there and I saw what almost was despair turned into ultimate relief and euphoria at the same time.
Kevin Bell in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. I was on a cruise in the Bahamas watching the Broncos game in a hot tub.
Nice. Fuck yeah, dude.
Let me tell you something. I did that last year when we were in the Bahamas for Oakland. I did the Thanksgiving Day game at the swim-up bar.
Yeah. That's
the way to do it.
I was on a cruise in the Bahamas, and Michigan was making their tournament run with this Nick Stauskas Trey Burke team. I saw Trey Burke hit that 3 over Kansas to win. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was. Spenny, what was your memory,
man?
Well,
I mean, obviously, winning the division, winning a playoff game, those are up there. But I'm going to go the same route as Flannel. I'm going to go the game I went to that made me, because I was there and I experienced it, and that was the Atlanta game. And it was Brian Branch absolutely obliterating Bijan Robinson in the open field.
Yes.
Even though he got the penalty for it, but he went up there and he slayed the smack on him. Bijan's helmet went flying, and that's when he was like, that's when I was like, okay, yeah, these rookies are the real deal. These guys are ready to play. And so obviously it's not as good as the playoff win or the division win, but just being there, seeing that, hearing that smack, seeing the crowd react was awesome.
Stephen Baffy, the highlight of my Lions season was ruined. I went to the Thanksgiving Day game with a Packers fan. The first game I've been to since I can remember. It pretty much ruined the season.
Don't go back.
They bounced back.
Don't go back. You're not allowed.
Yeah,
what
not
about
allowed.
you, Neal?
For me, it was probably, and again, mine's kind of along the line of DNC ENTs where it's kind of personal. So I was flying out to San Jose to do college football, and that was the Thursday night game against the Chiefs. And I remember I was kind of finishing up my work, and the game started. We were somewhere over Iowa or something like that when the game started. And I got my work done, and I turned the TV on, and they were just getting ready to kick off and stuff. And I poked my head up above the row, and anywhere you looked, it's a flight from Detroit to San Francisco. Anywhere you looked, every single television was on the game, and just the lead up into it, and I had that clip where I was like, you come out here and you bust the Chiefs in the mouth, and you show the nation shit's different now. And watching that game with all the people, and then, the Lions score, and a whole plane just erupts and stuff. You can't recreate that, you know what I'm saying? And then Brian Branch's pick 6, in the game, and you're like, yeah, Brad Holmes, Brian Branch, and just we were so hype and flat. I remember me and you were big on the Brian Branch thing, during the draft, kind of texting back and forth during the draft. Say Brian Branch is out there, man. They're gonna go get him. That was electric to me. It was that. The Broncos game was a big thing too, because that was the first time there were question marks, right? And they smashed them to the point where Russell Wilson's going to get cut, and they fired their coach. They beat him that bad. And that was incredible, the Saturday night game and all that stuff. And then just after the Tampa game, I went out to Las Vegas that week, coming back from Vegas at the terminal, leaving to go back, and just total strangers. Just meeting with total strangers and taking pictures. And, I doubt outside of a Super Bowl I'll ever be able to recreate that feeling. That feeling in Las Vegas.
Organic.
We're in Las Vegas. Yeah. And it was because that was the official moment where we weren't clowns anymore.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
We were a factor now. We were a force. We were someone to be reckoned. And it was that's what we were celebrating. We've arrived now. It's not a joke anymore. And I will never forget that day. I could get Alzheimer's. I'll always remember that day.
So my question, and I meant to ask this the other day, and it's a two-parter. How was Terminal Dennis at the end of the game, and how is he now?
He just left. There were no goodbyes. None of that.
Early, or did he wait till the end?
No, he waited till the end, and then I turned around and I saw him walking out.
Dropped the ninja dust and was out.
Yep, absolutely.
Did you how long after did you talk to him? The next day.
Monday was a tough day for him. Tuesday was a tough day.
Did Brad Holmes help him come back like Spenny? Did it give him some revitalization? Or
yeah, the Ben Johnson thing got him out of bed. No,
I mean it's got to be for living and dying for everybody like that. Like the sun not here. Figuratively, the sun will come out tomorrow.
Yep.
No, but you're gonna have a tough time recreating this one.
No.
So you absolutely
But as
are.
Joey Kosher said to me after we won the conference championship in 1997, I said, "Papa, this is awesome," and he whispered in my ear, "The next one's even better." So we'll wait and see.
We will wait and see. Hey, the sun's never coming out. We talked about that, so you know it's wintertime. But wintertime in Detroit's always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Thick, hearty, the veal parmesan, the Southern Comfort Bowl as well. What about breakfast? Stuffed potato pancakes. Hearty, there you go. The classic omelet, the lumberjack, the Santa Fe garden. What about the brand new apple pie hotcakes that are too good to miss? Give it to D-Mac.
Wash it down. I'm thirsty.
With a gingerbread shake for dessert. You guys know what it is. It's Big Boy, one of Newsweek's best restaurant chains of 2023. Get to your local Big Boy for comfort foods today.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
What up, Woodward Sports? Dispo Dispensary is bringing the ultimate experience for the big game in Vegas, and they want you there. You can win 2 tickets to the big game, plus a flight, hotel, and accommodations by following these simple steps. First, follow Dispo.Michigan, @ShowMedicated, and @ShowMedicatedCBD on Instagram. Like Dispo's pinned post, comment and tag someone you love to bring. Plus, if you repost on your story, you get an extra entry. It's that easy. Join the Dispo family for a chance to score in Vegas. The big game awaits. Follow, like, tag, and repost now.
Neal Ruhl here for WoodwardSports.com/shop. Yes, the very best in Detroit sports merchandise. You guys see the whole Lions lineup up there. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. It's all there. We got the very best lineup of Detroit sports wearables. All the beanies, the hats, the hoodies. We have it all for you. Go to WoodwardSports.com/shop. Keeping it pushing here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl and Darren McCarty and Sam Flannel and Spencer Raxter. Big Play J, my highlight, Jameson Williams block that spun David Montgomery for a touchdown against Tampa Bay. How many times did you punch air about Jameson Williams blocks, Sam Flannel? Because when you assess somebody as a bust and then they play well, it's got to get you upset, right?
How can anybody's favorite moment be a Jameson Williams block? I'm not trying to hate on anybody or anything
that's
like
exactly
that,
what you're doing.
Come on. That's your favorite moment.
Maybe he's a former offensive lineman. Maybe he's like Spencer Raxter. He's a trench guy.
I mean, maybe. It was a very fine play in a game where they needed every single one of those points. So, fine.
You'll allow it?
I'll allow it.
That's gracious of you. That's gracious of you, Sam Flannel. Drill 10, Neal's lowlight was Holmes drafting Jack Campbell. Don't lie. I told you guys a story. When I showed up for work on Monday, I had compartmentalized everything, and what was my attitude about it? My exact phrase, I'll stand with Brad Holmes.
To be fair, though, that face that you were photographed making was pretty...
universal.
Hey, but That looks like a low light face, though.
You
I'll
and
just say
Braylon
that.
both.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Braylon was
Braylon
worse.
left.
At least I stayed.
That's fair. That's actually fair.
Yeah, but that's, some of it happens.
Yeah.
Remove yourself from the moment before the moment. The moment. Whatever you need, Sam. Whatever you need.
Go ahead, Flannel. Whatever you got to do, man. Go ahead.
You don't care.
No,
You're
he
the
doesn't
show.
care. Yeah. But no, Braylon got up and left. I didn't do that. At least I stayed.
I do remember that.
Somebody had just bought me a drink, though, so that's why I stayed.
That's fair.
I had to finish. I wasn't going to leave the drink sitting there.
No.
I bought a lot of
You're
drinks
not
that
rude.
night. Now
Yes.
I got into a fight in the streets.
Yes, you do.
It was a good day.
Yes,
Everybody
it was.
Everybody was running a little hot that night.
I was
They didn't
buying drinks for
understand
the
how it would
Janes.
play out this year. If everybody knew you were going to the NFC Championship and be that close, maybe they wouldn't have been so confrontational.
No, I gave it up. Lorena Rios, that was a stank face indeed. Yeah, it was. Just like everybody else. Nick Pancone, the air got sucked out of the room at that draft. That draft party was electric,
Yeah,
dude.
it was.
I didn't expect that many people to show up,
It was
man.
dope. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. Kevin Bell, that JMO sweep touchdown in the San Fran game was badass. Tommy K, what does Flannel have against JMO? I don't know. He thinks he's a bust for some reason. I don't understand why, but he does. John effing Lord, that wasn't the only JMO block that was this year. Mm-hmm. That, you know what? To be fair, too, like that, I really thought that put to bed the whole discord with Jamison Williams, the person. You know what I'm saying?
Part of the herd, man.
Yeah.
Part of the herd. Endeared himself to the herd. And the only way you do that is going in there, shut your mouth, and doing the work.
Yep.
And that's what you love. You know, your guys, your Jahmyr Gibbs and your Jamison Williams are supposed to be your fragile guys. Amon-Ra Brown's supposed to be your little guy. They all turn it upfield. They all want the contact. They all love to block for each other. That, you can't buy that.
Stephen Baffy says, I have mixed feelings on Matt Stafford. He tapped out, but I cannot say I blame him. He kind of quit on the Lions, but what they got in return is what put us where we are. And
Yes.
Stephen, you know what?
Why can't it be an applicable divorce for, and everybody be happy?
And that was, I think he just verbalized kind of my feelings on it. He tapped out. Mm-hmm. He did. He tapped out. You know who didn't tap out? Isaiah Thomas didn't tap. That's my problem, right? Like when you want to talk about all-time greats, Steve Yzerman did not tap out. Isaiah Thomas did not tap out. Ben Wallace did not tap out. Ben Wallace was a castaway that got here, and they won a championship with him. Now he went and got his bag after the run was over. You can't hate that, man. That's the way that it works. That's a great way of putting it. When you asked Grant Hill tapped out.
Yep.
He tapped out, bro. Like I know the new generation that didn't grow up with Grant Hill, they see the highlights and they're like, wow, he's incredible. Don't forget, guys, he tapped out. I'm sorry. I know that Terry Foster and I have had battles over that before. But Isaiah Thomas put it all on him. Steve Yzerman put it all on him. Steve Yzerman changed his existence as a player to make it work. He put it all on himself. That's the difference.
In a time that you got paid for bonuses.
Right.
For stats.
For stats. That's what's incredible to me. So, Daycase D, Flannel just hates JMO. I agree. Honolulu BS, Craig Reynolds' block was up there. That was a hype block.
That was a great block.
There were a lot of good blocks,
For
man.
sure.
Damn. That was.
That was a great block.
There's multiple people that are talking about it, the Craig Reynolds block. It was fun, man. The only thing, D-Mac, that's going to recreate this is the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. And it'll recreate it on a bigger level.
Yes, it will.
It'll be so. But imagine if we had 2 weeks to talk about what's next. Legitimately with a better team, right?
And that's the thing, D-Mac, that really kills me about them losing. It's not the way they lost. It's not how they lost. I can live with that. It's just I wanted what this city was to continue for 2 more weeks, and I wanted us. I wanted footage of the Lions plane land in, and you know what I'm saying? Like I wanted all of us to get that moment. I wanted them. We didn't get it. I know we will.
It's just not.
I know we will.
Wasn't our time.
I know we will.
I firmly believe that. It's just not when, it's when. Because I've seen it. I've experienced it, been a part of it. I feel it's real as it was in our locker room, and that's where it starts. Now, let's put the better talent around them, and I think that they're in place from ownership to GM to coach and coaches. So, but the window is now.
You know they're going to get there, right, Spenny? You believe that?
I do believe that.
I do too. And it's gonna be glorious, man.
It is gonna be glorious. Glorious.
It's gonna be glorious.
It will. Man, just kind of going back to Sunday again. It was right there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all right, because when they do get there, we'll get to go through all this again, dude. We will. I was talking about the Vegas thing, just to see Terminal Dennis, like the tears going down his face, to the point where I think I told you guys a story. The woman at the table next to us that was from like New Jersey came over and hugged him and was like, "You're crying. It's making me cry. Like, I want you guys to win." She's like, "And I don't even care." Like it was that. That's what I'm talking about. The humanity of it all.
That's how real it is.
Yeah.
And I believe that they want to bring that to us as much as Dennis wants it.
Yeah, I know. I agree. So everybody get ready though, but. The Lunchbox Hooligans. Neal, the best part of the season was having to watch anyone who had to come near Panay Sewell. It's low-key. You know what I need a picture of? That screenshot of him in the tunnel. But, when they were waiting to tell them to go through the tunnel. And, like, his lips started quivering, and he had this sneer on his face. That's my guy.
Running that dude in a dark alley.
Fuck no.
You don't want anything that man has to offer.
Not a chance.
Nothing that man has to offer. All right, we're going to talk about Red Wings when we come back. How about that? We are. We're going to do that. What we got? Glorious, D-Mac?
Les Stanford.
Les Stanford. That's right. Les Stanford.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? Well, you expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. On Woodward Ave, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today. Find the brand you want. LesStanford.com.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network on a Thursday. Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rockstar here with you. Happy to have you all along for the ride. Jump into that woodwardsports.com chat thread. Give us a like, too, since you're standing right there. Go ahead and hit the like button. Also, woodwardsports.com chat thread, just putting a wrap on the Lions discussion. Gromit 0237. Yep, 2 field goals away from a Super Bowl. Yeah, Gromit, or 1 touchdown.
I like what Justin Rogers says. Brian Baldinger calls Sewell Highway 58. I love it because traffic is always light.
As I always say, man, when we're inside the 5, he finishes every run play 5 yards into the end zone. Every play. 5 yards into the end zone, dude. It's wild. It's wild. Here on Mark M, now that the Lions are not in it, I'm just going to watch the Super Bowl for the commercials. Are you gonna,
I do.
Yeah.
Low-key,
yeah, that's true.
I like the commercials.
Spenny, are you going to be into the Super Bowl or no?
Yes. I'm going to watch the Super Bowl.
Do you have a
for the
vested
football.
interest yet? Like,
I don't
one way or
want to
the
see
other?
Taylor Swift hold the Lombardi Trophy. So I want the 49ers.
I heard FanDuel was putting a line out on that.
Yeah.
Will she be on stage for the trophy presentation?
Yeah.
Those are some of the
I think she would be if they won.
the props I heard. Will she be on stage?
Especially if Kelsey wins MVP.
That's another one of the props. Will Kelsey propose to her?
Ooh.
Will she make it in time for kickoff because she's got the concert the night before in Tokyo?
Yeah.
If he proposes to her at the Super Bowl, this is everybody who says this is all publicity stunt.
Yeah, for
Then
sure.
That's on.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm with you. By the time the game comes,
Yeah.
I'll be into
I
it.
want to be locked in.
I did see a nice little gap for those that celebrate. I forget which book was which. Shop around Brandon Ayuk's receiving yards.
Yeah.
You can get 77.5 at one book and 73.5 in another. I think is it Bet Rivers and FanDuel, I want to say.
Okay.
That's a gap.
Yeah.
That's a nice little gap to operate in.
For sure.
I'm just saying. I would do it.
Yeah. I like it.
If I could, I would do it, no doubt. So there is that on there. Red Wings, just in time for them. Do they have another game before the...
No.
They do not. They are done.
Yeah, that was the last game before the break.
Before the All-Star
Bring
break.
it off to Toronto for the All-Star game. The rest of, I think a lot of them are going to Cabo, down to Mexico.
Hell
Enjoy
yeah.
a few days in the sun.
Smart. Red Wings right now occupying that final wild card playoff spot. They have 58 points with 50 games played. Nearest competition to them, New York Islanders, 52 points with 49 games played. The Penguins still a threat. They have 51 points with 46 games played. It's the Capitals, Devils, and Penguins all with 51 points. The Islanders with 52. And then the Red Wings are tied with Toronto at 58 points. Needless to say, D-Mac, I was concerned about a month ago. You laid out the plan. You said, hey, you pretty much got to take about 10 out of 14. I laughed that off, and then they went out and pretty much took 10 out of 14 and got right back in the mix. And D-Mac, here's the difference.
What would I know?
Here's what's different, though, from last year to this year. They have seized control of that spot. They are not in that group of 4 teams within 1 point. They have seized control. They have some breathing room. Now, you can piss that breathing room away real quick, namely by not getting 2 points against the Senators as a pattern. But in the meantime, D-Mac, as they sit right now, they are in a prime spot to make the playoffs.
You just said it. I mean, that's a lead, right? That's a lead. Now they can't squander it, and yes, they've done the work, but they got to continue to do it. And I think that's what you're seeing is more now. The biggest difference are getting goaltending. So hopefully, Ville Husso coming back healthy, not overly used in the first half, can help spot if Alex Lyon's going to continue to be your number one, which he should because he's earned it. But you got to keep playing this way. And like I said, it's imperative. Like the points you said back at the home game against that they lost in overtime to Edmonton, and then last night those to Ottawa. Getting those points is so huge because it continues to give you that buffer. So if you're not paying attention as tightly, because really right now you don't need to, but what you want to see is you don't want them to lose consecutive games or go consecutive games without getting a point or anything like that. So they control their destiny. They just, but I said that's where I want to see the keeping it 6 games. You know what it reminds me of? I'm thinking if you watch the Olympics and you see those rowers in those big boats, right, when they're racing on the canals, well, you can see the lead, right? Legitimately, when one boat is a boat length or so ahead of the other boats, that's where they're at. But like in rowing, you can give up that lead. So that's why this is a great time for the All-Star break. But it's also too is that let's refocus, come back, and you got to look at this next stretch of games like you did the last stretch. So it started. I called it. It said it starts on the road, and what they did, Neal, which is going to pay off for them, is they did it in probably one of the toughest parts of their schedule. Right out west, back and forth here and there, at home, top teams. So
Well, D-Mac, speaking of that, when they do come back, that Saturday, February 10th is their next game. The Canucks are coming in for an afternoon game. But you bring that up, we're going to know right away. And, Spenny, can we throw this on the poll real quick? Do you expect the Red Wings to make the playoffs? Because now I do. Well, I was kind of half in, half out.
Good thing I took the clock off and stuck to it.
Yeah.
It might have been holding true to it, but yes, I think right now, and that's the difference between what a year makes. You can it's easy to go back a year and you look at where this team was and what have they done? They've righted their ship and continue to push forward in the most turbulent times. Last year they failed, crashed into the rocks. This year they got the full sail going.
But D-Mac, we're going to know, though, because they had that home game against Vancouver. Then it's the West Coast swing, but the real one. The at Edmonton, at Vancouver, at Calgary, at Seattle. Like, D-Mac.
That's another one. But again, you're going to use the confidence of how you've played on the road and how you just came out your last
this isn't
West
the
Coast
Ducks and
trip.
Kings,
Now,
though.
the whole difference is because it's Canada in the winter time and it's cold. So going and winning in California is a little bit, or Arizona is a little bit different. So yes, to your point, the true test of the road schedule.
WoodwardSports.com chat poll, do you expect the Red Wings to make the playoffs? 95% of the people say yes.
Let's go. Bring out the window flags.
Can we commit to the car flag?
I think I still got one in my garage somewhere.
Can we commit to the car flag? That I'm blown away by that, D-Mac. 95% of the people.
Oh, I bring a tear to my eyes. Hashtag Wiser playing 1919. I ran into Stevie last night at the game and sort of was sniffing around or whatever like this. And
bring home chicken.
One of the things is to the point that I made the fact you make it easy, because if I know you've trained me enough to listen when you talk that we're not ready. But again, I know that also if you think they're ready, you will make moves. And he just sort of looked at me and smiled like he usually does, and which means if he thinks he will add, as he's proven throughout the year. Look at what he's done in the last year. You added DeBrincat and Kane. Mm-hmm. You've solidified your offense scoring power. Now, if you can make a move for, God forbid you got a Chikrin. Or God forbid, but even if you're going to get some guys to insulate.
It's funny because when he seeks my counsel, right around the DeBrincat time.
Start out with bourbons and stuff.
Yeah,
you probably talk golf to begin with.
Yeah, like I know that smile you're talking about. Like when we were locking up the DeBrincat deal, when he and I were sitting at the top of LCA.
Well, he wanted to give him like 5.5, or he wanted to give him more, and you were like,
No. I think they'll go for it, Stevie. I think they'll go for it. Yep. And he was like, okay, Neal. And then he got that little smile. And I know that's his wine smile. He's gonna go get a glass of wine. Like he's gonna walk over. And then I know that we're done talking about it. And then we'll talk about golf or whatever, and then we'll kind of go our separate ways until I get summoned again up to the upper pillars of LCA. That's how it is. And the Chikrin thing, maybe after the All-Star break, maybe I'll get the text. We'll see, and we'll reconvene. And we'll figure it out.
Well, what a great time, the All-Star break, when everybody's together to be able to talk about maybe your team.
He just may find his way over to Ottawa's People's Box, right? Maybe.
Is that what it is? Or find Ottawa's restaurant or bar? Maybe there's a bottle of wine set
in a back
right
room.
There and
we'll get it figured out.
I don't know. I'm on the other side. I'm in the season ticket charity department, culture. I don't know what goes on. I don't know how they put the team together.
Yes.
I've seen movies, man.
DNC ENT. He's my guy on the streets right now. Which will be higher, Taylor Swift live shots or Travis Kelce catches?
Taylor Swift live shots for sure.
Plus 150.
Oh, I'd put money on that.
Yeah. Kelce catches are minus 200. What else did we have on there? Will Kelce propose after the Super Bowl? 10-1. Yes. You can't bet on no, but you can get yes on 10-1. So there's that one out there as well. Just some of the things. Lions fan 222. Neal, do you think the Red Wings should be buyers at the trade deadline? And who do you want position wise? Well, defensemen, right? Like it's pretty much got to be.
Yep.
Unless it's like a a shocking goalie move, which I don't anticipate it to be a shocking goalie move because anybody with good goalies is in the playoff mix and they're not moving them.
Yeah.
So, it would pretty much. And look, truth be told, like 1 through 6, that's where they need the most help, right? That you can address right now. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I know. I talked to Stevie about it. I know I'm right. No, but D-Mac, for real.
See, you guys talk about the defense. I don't know.
No, but for real, D-Mac, is that what you anticipate?
Yeah, and it might not, the move that you all want might not be out there or part of the plan, but I do think, and also too, you look at side note, Grand Rapids is 10-2-1 in their last 13 games, so we got some young guys, and you got Everson down there playing, so you got options.
No, there is, and they have draft capital, that they can tend to as well.
Eiserman.
I'm stunned, man. Do you expect the Red Wings to make the playoffs? 93% of you say yes.
How many people voted?
What we have? About right around 100.
That's pretty fucking saucy. I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah, I mean Get
on board. D-Mac's pretty good with his clocks.
I know it's
true.
That Canada West Coast swing, though, right out of the chute of the All-Star break, D-Mac, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm concerned about it.
Yeah, but you can be. We were just as concerned about out of the Christmas break having the West Coast trip.
Yeah, but this isn't the Kings and the Ducks, man.
Okay.
This is McJesus and Seattle and Vancouver.
What does a good friend of yours always say? Sometimes the only way out is where?
Is through.
That's it.
That's what a good friend of mine says.
The only way out is through, and the only way to get high is to go to Dispo Dispensary. Experience Dispo Dispensary team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere. Dispo is now giving away 2 tickets plus hotel flight accommodations this year's big game in Vegas. Go on Dispo's Instagram page at dispo.michigan and follow directions on the pinned post, or scan the QR code and it will take you there. Let's get you sports fans to Vegas. And you gamblers, and you swimmers. There's pools out there and everything. Anybody wants to get out of this gosh darn grayness and snowness. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
1, 2, 3, 4. Feel alive during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest New Year's sales event ever. Get the best prices on our huge selection of award-winning Chevrolets. Like this 2024 Equinox for $188 per month. Or this 2024 Silverado for $268 per month. It's the New Year's sales event going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
What up, Woodward Sports? Dispo Dispensary is bringing you the ultimate experience for the big game in Vegas, and they want you there. You can win 2 tickets to the big game, plus a flight, hotel, and accommodations by following these simple steps. First, follow dispo.michigan, @showmedicated, and @showmedicatedcbd on Instagram. Like Dispo's pinned post, comment and tag someone you love to bring. Plus, if you repost on your story, you get an extra entry. It's that easy. Join the Dispo family for a chance to score in Vegas. The big game awaits. Follow, like, tag, and repost now.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Nice to see you guys engage in the Red Wings discussion. Neal Ruhl.
Somebody got engaged? Was it Taylor Swift and
10-1 at the Super Bowl.
12 days until pitchers and catchers report. 12 days till baseball's back.
Is Scott Boras intentionally holding everybody out of free agency?
I have no idea.
You notice how there's been no movement?
Yeah.
It's been weird.
I think he's making sure Chris Ilitch can sign a third baseman.
You know what I think? Neal, does this make any sense? But how the Dodgers did Ohtani's deal, deferred, does that wouldn't that as an ownership to whatever you pull back and go, whoa, accountants, capologists, whatever, what did they just do? How did they do that? Can we do that? Maybe is there something to it? Because did they not pull a precedence, right, in the way that they signed him for the amount of money they did? And if I was a legit owner, wouldn't I be looking into, okay, what loopholes I mentioned about different apps opening up as you get levels higher?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there anything to that, or is that just my conspiracy
I'd have to look
theory?
into it, and it would take me some time to find out, do they do they have to escrow that money too? You know what I'm saying? Like, do they have to write the check and escrow it?
So the fact that you do not 100% know brings up the question of maybe this is the question going on, and maybe that's something to withholding how other contracts are getting done.
Yeah. Well, I think it has to do with maybe they went above market value that everybody else could offer and say, hey, here's the plan. We'll go above market value, but here's the plan and how we're going to do it. Because I do believe that the reason they did this was because they are going to take their local television deal, which I forget the number. We talked about it before. The numbers are $2 or $3 billion, whatever it is, with Time Warner for like 25 years. They're going to take that and replicate it in Japan.
I get that, but as an owner of another team, I want to know why, not why they did it. That makes sense. All that, yes. But how they were able to do it. So how can I do it at a lower scale, not at $700 million or whatever like this? But does that open up my salary or my ability? And I think the big question there is it escrowed?
Yeah.
Immediately, if it's escrowed, that just puts only 3 or 4 teams that can do that. Put almost $1 billion away, right? We're talking $1 billion. So those are the questions that I'm wondering that if that might hold it up. Because if you can find a way to, that seems like the way. Like we talk about in the NFL, salary cap versus cash out money, the ownership's willing to pay.
The Dodgers will have to maintain an escrow account for that deferred salary. So every year, LA will pay Ohtani $2 million, and they will take the $44 million that they owe him and set it into the escrow account. So they don't have to put it up front, but they do have to pay it as they go.
So they can get interest and everything else off they make, and then put whatever. So they're going to use Ohtani to make the money to put into. I mean, and then the fact that the avenue to sell it in Japan and double dip.
100%.
Brilliant.
It's a masterclass, no doubt. It's a business masterclass. Who farted? The Red Wings are a playoff team. That doesn't necessarily mean they will make the playoffs. The Atlantic Division is hell. It is, but that just goes to show you, though, if they do make it, that means a lot. If they make it in this division,
they get an extra helmet star.
Yeah, no question.
They get an extra helmet sticker.
No question.
Yeah, because if they were in the West. They would have made it last year.
West,
right
sure.
there.
They would have been in the West last year,
DNCENT, will Taylor Swift be seen crying if the Chiefs lose? Yes, plus 550. No, minus 1,000.
She'll be crying either way.
Yeah.
Ski Mask Boy, I got a mailbag question. I'll give you this one, D-Mac. Do NHL teams tend to only deal with general managers they know? That's every sport.
Everybody knows Stevie.
I think that I think more of your first calls go there.
Yeah.
Then it all that. But
ask the 49ers.
Is anybody deterred from calling anybody else and going, "Hey, Steve"? No, and whether they know him or not, I think it's easier to negotiate, and you see the pathways in all sports with guys that have relationships with each other.
Robert Closia, this is interesting, who is an agent, as a matter of fact. The Major League Baseball took a page out of the MLS playbook. They created a new rule in order to help LA, i.e., when David Beckham signed with LA. Interesting. So that whole escrow rule probably had to be put into place.
Interesting. Look at the MLS leading the way.
Yeah.
Showing precedence.
Well, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
If the MLS is leading your way. The MLS, like, they got to figure something out to make it more. I don't understand how the MLS works with allocation money and target allocation money. I have no idea. I know that you have an exemption to sign 3 quote-unquote stars that you can go over the cap for. Kind of like the Larry Bird thing.
Oh, it's easy,
But after that, I have no idea what's going on. And this is me talking.
Hey, all I know is kickball in goal.
All I know is call MLS game, get check. That's how I know. That's how it works for me.
Hell yeah.
Bag.
That's how it works for. I guess that's all I need to know.
Clark Park this weekend, 4:30 alumni game Saturday, 1 o'clock game on Sunday, and I'll be signing my book after that. House of Shamrocks. You want to come by for a picture? Say hi, get high, whatever you want to do.
Hell yeah.
All right. D-Mac, thank you. Have a great weekend, brother.
You too, guys.
We'll be back at you tomorrow. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxer. My name's Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.